Hello everyone, I am MJ. I'm going to show you how I edit this maternity picture. So this is straight out of the camera. I'm just going to zoom in so we can see. She's a beauty. I do light my clients really well so they don't typically need a lot of fixing. In Photoshop, it's more like fixing backdrop and stuff like that. As you can see, I have all of this over here. So the first thing I always do is duplicate my layer. I use my rectangle tool and just drag that over. I do the same thing here. I have to be careful because she's super close to the edge of the backdrop. So I should have scooted my light in a little bit closer. That way I could have moved her to the center of the backdrop. But all good. Okay, so right here I'm going to use my eyedropper tool and just pick up that color. And I'm actually just going to paint this. I hate doing this because it's not the best way to do it, but I don't have much of a choice. I'm going to just lower the opacity and just kind of lighten up right here. It's sometimes hard to get this to blend really well. I'm going to go a little bit lighter. So normally I don't have to do a crazy amount of what I'm doing right now, but sometimes your light is not in the right spot. Okay, that's pretty good. And then I'm going to grab my eyedropper tool up here. I'm going to get that light out. We're going to go back to 100% and just cover this up. I do use textures on my backdrop, so even if that's not perfect, I'm not real upset about it. I do want this to be a little bit lighter at the bottom, so I'm going to grab some of that lightness there. Yeah. Okay, so now I can mask off. Make sure we're set at 100%. I can just mask that off of the drop. Or not the drop, but the dress. Sorry. And so I always make sure I duplicate my layers so that I can do that. Looks like I took off too much right here. Just put that back. Okay, I'm gonna flatten. No, I'm not. I still see a spot I don't like with this. And go back to my brush tool, super low opacity. I'm just gonna try to lighten that up a little bit more right there. Go back to my layer mask. And I'm gonna paint that off again. Okay, that looks better. I think. This is me being a perfectionist, big time. It's a little bit too light now. Just up here. Okay. Let me make sure that's not on the dress. It's not. Okay. I am such a perfectionist, my goodness. It's a blessing and a curse. All right, I flattened to that layer. I'm gonna duplicate again. Filter, liquify. All right, so here I'm gonna go in and just kind of bring her arms in a little bit. I don't like to change my clients' bodies, but pregnancy, you know, we start rocking a different body. I always tell them I don't mind going in and fixing things like that, especially if it's something they have pointed out during the reveal. I'm just going to make her bump just slightly more around just because of the way she's sitting here. And then I do go and help them arch their back here. It's very hard for them to arch their backs during pregnancy session, so I always do that. I round out their booties because nobody wants the flat booty when we sit. Sometimes I overdo this, I can't tell, so I am doing it on a duplicated layer. Just gonna bring her face in a tad. To be careful when they have tattoos. You can't do that much liquifying. I'm gonna go down here and just give some life to this dress. This is one of my dresses that is definitely, it's been used a lot. So the poor thing. Okay. This is what it was before. This is what it was after. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm gonna flatten again. I'm gonna duplicate again. I'm gonna see what this looks like if I can pull this dress out just a little bit more. Let me grab it a little bit more. So I'm just using my rectangle tool. That was the before, that's the after. I'm gonna flatten again. Okay, so I use LSP Actions. I like to use their Perfect Skin Action from their Maternity Retouch. LSP is pretty much the only actions I use. I like to go in at 100% because I can lower the opacity on the actual layer. My family is about to come downstairs, so it's going to be getting loud. So I'm just airbrushing her skin. Like that. So pretty. And then I'm gonna go in with the fabric smooth paint, and this will just get out any wrinkles. Sometimes I use this for their skin, even like when it's in a dark shadow. It's really hard to paint off, do any airbrushing of their skin. Like the Maternity Retouch collection, it doesn't get in there. So sometimes I even use this on their skin at a very low opacity, but this just takes out any of these wrinkles that we see under the skin. Right there. Not under the skin, but on the dress. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't like to do this too much because I don't ever want it to get to the point where it looks a little fake. So that's kind of a lot. I always tell my clients, you're naturally going to have some wrinkle in your fabric. Like that's just the way our bodies are. You know, it's not going to be completely perfect. And I think some photographers can go a little overboard with it, and then it just doesn't look natural. Okay, so that's super cute. The one thing I might try to work on is this right here for her. So I'm creating the duplicate layer again. I'm going to use my healing patch for this. And we're just going to see what happens here. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Don't be afraid to try stuff. Yeah, that does not work, right? And sometimes it's not the end of the world to leave it either, because of all the things I just said. Like, you want it to be natural. But what I can do is use my eyedropper, super low opacity here, and just try to maybe paint a little bit. And it's like really dark right there. You want it to be a little dark right there because, again, natural shadows. So you have to understand shadows and light and all that good stuff to make this happen and make it make sense. I don't like that. It's too much. And now my dog is ringing the bell. Fantastic. I'm just going in with a darker color right here just to kind of smooth that out. I'm gonna add a layer mask and mask off any of that right there. And I'm gonna zoom out and just see what this looks like. Because like, I feel like I put a target right here. That's it without, let me see. Click back on, make sure you're on the layer. I'm gonna go to the eyedropper. It just looks dark in this area. Again, super low opacity. Now my dog is hitting her buttons. She wants to play the ball. Oh my God. You guys, it's so funny. I still feel like it looks weird. I might be able to take my patch tool now and just, let's see. No. This is the non-glamorous part to our job, you guys. So I guess right now I'm like, should I leave that? I don't really want to leave it because I feel like it does look better if I can get it right. Super low opacity, because if not, she's going to start to look painted and you don't want that. It's like something in here. Oh, now she's got a circle. I'm going to go back to this fabric smooth action. Again, this is LSP. This is in their Maternity Retouch collection. I'm wondering if I go in and just kind of smooth that, that'll, oh yeah, that kind of helps, right? Let me go back to my layer, 100%, so I can mask off, because it does seem like it's something weird going on maybe. And click back on that fabric smooth. Oh. Make sure you have your white brush selected. Don't be dumb like me. Okay. So this was it. Oh no, I don't have it anymore. That looks pretty good. Her light on her face is beautiful. Sometimes I'll go in and do their faces, but I really don't feel like I need to do that. I do use the Bright Eyes from LSP. This is from her newborn collection. I think it's her signature newborn. I just do the whole eye. I never leave it at 100% though. I usually take it to like 50 or 60. I also use the sharpened lashes from the newborn collection. Really pretty. I'm gonna flatten this, duplicate. I'm gonna go back to liquify. I just want to make this dress just a little poofier. This poor dress has been through so much. So just word to the wise, if you have dresses like this is from Katharina Couture, do not put them in the dryer. Yes, you guys, I put them in the dryer. Okay, another thing that I like to sometimes use, but not always, it just kind of depends on the picture. So we're going to see what this looks like. This is LSP. I don't remember what they're, oh, the Light Chronicles. In chapter 5, the Extra Warm Evening. I love this, but again, depends on the picture, the background, skin tone of your client. When I have darker skin tones, I really like to use this a lot. If I have a very super light-skinned woman, sometimes I will use this. It'll just help warm her up a bit. And it kind of darkens the background really nicely. Okay. I might feel like I need to crop this a tad. Like that box isn't straight. It's kind of driving me crazy, right? Okay. Yeah, that looks better. Now the bottom is weird. You see that at the corner. Eyedropper and a brush. Fix that right up. Okay, and the very last thing I do to my stuff is LSP texture action. I absolutely love the texture action and highly recommend these, especially if you experience any banding and such, which I do. So this just helps kind of mask it and just makes the background a little more interesting. I just use the Skin Darker paint to take it off of her. It doesn't take it all the way off of her, so there's a little bit of texture, which I really like. And then this is the actual overlay layer. That's a lot for me. I usually just do a little bit, kind of like that. And then I also use this just to kind of darken it up around the edges. Oh, hold on. Let me flatten. And we'll do this again. This one is from the newborn collection. It'll go super dark. And again, just depends how you like. But I do mask off her face and stuff. That's kind of a lot for me. I would actually prefer this to be a little darker down here, just shadowing. It would be darker back there because my light source is here. So anyways, that is how I edit a maternity picture. I don't typically take this long to do all of them. It just kind of depends. This was a struggle for just getting her body, that curve, nice and flat for her. My clients always tell me they don't want to see rolls, which I can completely respect because I'm a woman, so I don't want to see it either on myself, so I get it. But yeah, that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching.